Hi, and welcome to another episode of the After 90 Talk. The After 90 Talk is a podcast dedicated to world football. This is an edition, or our first edition, of the America Show. It's a show that we've been, wanting to record for a very long time. We are pretty consistent now with the European show, but the America Show is one that we definitely don't want to neglect. I'm your host, Ivan Garcia. As always, I'm here with Andres, my nephew. How you doing, man?
Feeling good. Feeling great, man.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Glad to be back out here with you.
Yeah.
Again, this is an edition of the European show. Of the America Show. And the reason that I don't want to neglect the Americas is I feel like, in a lot of platforms and just a lot of, the newer generations are not giving the importance of that the Americas side of the game should have on world football. The players from the Americas, South Americans in particular, they're just the stars of the shows a lot of the times, right? Arguably the best players in world football have come from the Americas, and they're consistently winning the more important tournaments. They're consistently in the best teams. And our current World Cup winner is a South American squad, of course. I'm talking about Lionel Messi's Argentina. And the country with the most World Cups is the country of Brazil, another South American team. So we definitely don't want to neglect everything that the Americas brings to the world football, to the world game.
Yeah, I mean, what a way to introduce the American show like that. But yeah, I mean, it's true. I think in different types of regions and no matter where, football will always be different, but it's still beautiful, because it's different types of play styles and different types of players and attitude. But it's still the same thing, football.
Yeah, and the fans, the atmosphere that they bring, and the songs, and just the the level of love for the game is just as great in the Americas. We, as Mexican Americans, want to start with our home league, the league that really just brought us up in world football and really engaged us into the sport. Of course, we're talking about Liga MX, the top division league in the country of Mexico. This week, we'll get right into match day 12. The Liga is also heating up. Liga MX. There's teams fighting to be number 1 and number 2, and then also in the mid table fighting for position to get into the playoffs in Mexico. On Friday, one of the first games of this match week is an important matchup. Necaxa against the league leaders León. Necaxa taking the victory in their home in Aguascalientes over this León team with
James Rodriguez.
Yeah. So the Colombian star, recently James has been one of the biggest names in world football in South America. Ex Real Madrid, ex Everton,
Bayern Munich, a bunch of teams in Europe at the highest level.
Yeah, exactly. The show was actually kind of stolen by a couple of other Colombians, Andrew. Johan Rojas Echevarria, a very talented Colombian player. He showed it in what I saw of the match. A lot of skilled plays, and then scoring a great goal from the left. Bringing it onto his right, and then just a very well placed goal. And then Didier Cambido, another talented South American player, making or scoring a goal. But the play of the winger was really impressive. Also some trickery, some skill. To bring the ball into the attacking position, and then giving a pass, and the goal from Gambino, just kind of a header in, not too difficult. Again, the hard work had already been done for him in the wing, I think. But a tough loss for León.
Yeah, I mean, they are a very strong and an enthusiastic team. Obviously, unlucky for León to lose. And even then, when Necaxa got a red card in the 28th minute, pretty early on, or to 26th minute, pretty early on in the first half. So it kind of seemed like maybe they would kind of take advantage of that, and obviously they couldn't. They got a kind of late goal for Jorge Cadiz at the 76th minute. It was kind of unlucky, but yeah, I mean, Necaxa still the 3 points, and they have a pretty exciting match at home. So
Yeah, it was very exciting. I'm sure the fans loved it. It was intense. The kind of a match that you want to see in this league, right? The very two good teams going at it the whole 90 minutes, and the fans were loving it for sure. It was exciting to watch also from home. And then another match from Friday, Puebla Toluca. Toluca, one of the better teams in this league, currently I think sitting in third spot, continuing to get a victory, a very good victory as an away match, 3-0 against Puebla. Another goal from Alexis Vega, a good goal from Jesus Gallardo, who is just one of the standouts from Toluca, because he's consistently part of the Mexican national team. He has World Cup experience, and good goal for him. I know there's a lot of criticism about him continuing to be in the national team. I personally like his play in the national team. On the left back, I feel like he's an experienced player, and we can always use experienced players in the national team. And then a goal from Paulinho, and then again Alexis Vega with another goal, also raising his hand to be a part of the Mexican national team.
Yeah, it looks like he's finally finding that form, his feet that we've always seen and we expect him to. It just sucks that, again, at that age, he's still in the Liga MX and not in Europe. That's all depending on his attitude on the game and the way he takes himself. But yeah, I mean, again, his form is finally stand out. He's one of the most standout Mexican players in the league. We don't really see that a lot too much. But I mean, yeah, as a supporter of the selección, you're excited, you're happy for him, and yeah, I mean, I just hope he keeps making the most out of this to somehow look for a move to Europe. But even though it might be too late, but regardless, though, to stick to this, a very easy match for Toluca.
It's a good point, on Alexis Vegas, and then maybe maybe if he doesn't go to play in Europe, and where I guess the experts say the highest quality of game is, and where the best players should be, that other young talented Mexicans take that example of his, don't waste your talent, I guess. I mean, I don't feel like he is wasting his talent, but he definitely
hasn't made the right decision.
Yeah, you want to achieve for the best, right? As an athlete, you want to be considered amongst the best by your peers, and that's how you achieve that in soccer, is by lifting those trophies that are important to everybody.
Yeah.
Elsewhere in Liga MX, two of the important teams that are currently sitting higher in the table and should be winning, matches that you expect them to win. Obviously, Tigres 3-0 win over Santos Laguna at home. Much expected, I think, of Tigres, but doing their job regardless. Another one of those teams we consider the top teams in La Liga, in Liga MX, Cruz Azul with a 3-0 victory over San Luis. Again, it's something that we do expect of these two teams, right? And then moving on to another el equipo de la gente, Chivas, taking on Juarez with a 1-1 tie in Ciudad Juarez, just across the border from America. A very good goal by the young player of Guadalajara, Miguel Alejandro Gomez. Just kind of finding the ball outside the box and having the confidence in himself to shoot it, and just finding the back of the net. A very, very good goal. And then just moving on into the action, the last game of Saturday. I guess the higher profile match, Atlas hosting Club America at the Estadio Jalisco. America taking the victory, a 3-1 victory over Atlas.
Yeah.
Andrew, what are your thoughts on that match?
I mean, I think You watched that match live, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I think we both of us can agree that I think Malagon had a pretty amazing game. I think he had like 6 assists.
Crucial.
Yeah, or not assists. Sorry, he had like 6 saves. But I think he was a very influential reason to why America won this match. Yeah, I mean, what do you expect from this America team other than winning? You know, I think, yeah, they had maybe a rough week losing to Chivas in the CONCACAF League. I think 1-0, very unlucky. But regardless, I think with the star power this team has, and in general, I mean, yeah, I mean, what do you expect other than America to win? But I mean, I think it was a very hard fought match as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It was a hard fought match. A good victory from America. They do look dangerous, right? Brian Rodriguez, he was consistently attacking. You know, he was consistently attacking, looking dangerous as well. I mean, there's so many things to highlight from America's side, right? The Malagon being one of them. He's a factor in not just in this match, but consistently. But in this match, you know, he allowed them to allowed the scoreline to look larger than it maybe should have been for Atlas. Atlas pushed at home, right? They enough to where they made Malagon a star of the match. Fidalgo, Sendejas playing really well, creating a lot of chances. Again, Brian Rodriguez creating a lot of chances as well, at least 3. I saw the Uruguayan have. Maybe could be more of a killer, right? Take more advantage of those. And then also their strikers, even though their strikers aren't scoring consistently, they look dangerous, and then they do score goals.
Okay.
You know, they're not stacking goals like we're saying top strikers should, but they also help in the play. Their defender Juarez for America, looking good as a I think he maybe deserves a call up or to the national team. Also, he's an important part of the best team in La Liga, or one of the best teams in La Liga. So a lot of good positives. The goal scorer for Atlas, also a very good goal from him. I think he's from Montenegro or something. He's so he's a European guy. Very good match. Also want to highlight the beauty of Estadio Jalisco. Just a classic Mexican stadium. It's really nice. I always love those matchups there from Chivas America and at the Jalisco, and then I am a fan of the was it OmniLife still?
Yeah, I believe so.
Estadio Akron, I think it's called.
They
now.
always change it like every couple years.
But I do. It's also a really nice stadium. I like how they incorporate the
grass,
the bushes
right?
to those bushes that they used to have in Estadio Jalisco. Really, really nice stadium. It's actually gonna be one of the host stadiums for the World Cup in 2026.
That's gonna look nice. That's gonna look nice.
It'll be beautiful. Elsewhere in Liga MX, action that just finished up on Sunday here. Pumas hosting Monterrey. Monterrey taking the victory over Los Universitarios, a 3-1 win for Monterrey of Sergio Ramos, the Spanish legendary player, ex Real Madrid, ex Sevilla. He actually got a red card in this match. Tell us about that red card that he got.
I mean, what do you expect other than... I think if you ever have a parlay on Raul Jimenez or Sergio Ramos on getting a red card, like every other game, you should put it, It was a very weird red card. Obviously, me and Ivan could not talk about the match because actually we were recording the European show and it was happening while that. But after we recorded, we saw that he had got a red card for kicking Memo Martinez even when he didn't have the ball. So it kind of went out of play for Pumas to throw in a handball. But he had kicked Memo. He the action of it, he didn't actually kick him. There was no contact, but the action of it was he wanted to kick him, and he started apologizing. But Memo was furious. He eventually got a red card. I don't know if it's a red, a direct. I don't know if he had a yellow and then he got sent off. But regardless, I don't think it's a red. A direct red in my opinion, but I think he should get booked for it because I guess the intention alone is probably bookable. But I think with no contact, it's weird. But to talk about this match, it's just difficult for me as a Pumas fan. Again, like I've said, this isn't really a very convincing team, even with the addition of what is it? I think Juarez. I forgot the coach's name.
Efrain, yeah,
Efrain Juarez. We did have a kind of surprising couple beginning matches in the CONCACAF Champions League, and I think his first ever game, they were convincing, but against a team like Monterrey, it's difficult to win. Especially, we played at home, which is difficult as well. I think we should have got a better result than this. But yeah, what do you expect? More than Monterrey to pretty much win. But yeah, it looked very just not really the day for us. But yeah, regardless, I gotta live with this loss, man.
Tough loss at home. Monterrey, not one of the best teams.
Yeah.
But they do have a lot of skilled players.
Yeah.
Their squad is stacked. Canales is just an outstanding player.
Yeah, he also scored as well. You have quality in that Monterrey team, and you expect them to do it again, in any team in Liga MX, to be honest. But just not our day for Pumas at all. But I hope that next Clausura or Apertura, whatever, we can look forward to it. I think we do have talent in that team. It just maybe isn't a right season.
Well, Pumas can, there's still plenty of time for Pumas to make a run, to get some form, and get into the playoffs. And who knows, right? After you get into the playoffs, anything can happen. We'll continue to monitor Pumas and Monterrey, of course. And then just to close off the Liga MX, currently as we speak, Pachuca playing versus Tijuana. Pachuca currently winning 2-0. It's just gone into halftime. Goal from the Uruguayan Santiago Homenchenko, and then the Brazilian star John Kennedy. John Kennedy, one of my players to just look out for in Liga MX. He just was brought on from Fluminense, I believe, to Pachuca as a lone player. And he, the games that I've seen from him, just spectacular. A lot of skills. He scored. I don't know how many goals he scored now in Liga MX. I'm gonna definitely bring you that count.
I think he has to have more than 5. To be honest.
At least, I know he's had several games with 2 goals, and I've seen him score here and there. So I want to say 5 to 7, but I'll bring you that statistic. On the next show here. Definitely want to highlight him again. Just the skills that he has are amazed me already. And then I did talk to Andrew about him weeks back. And and I seen one game from him. I seen things that he did out there. And then just as we continue to do this show and look at the match results, we see that he scored consistently.
He's been a consistent performer for Pachuca. I think, to be honest, we got to get a John Kennedy jersey and put it right here. This man discovered his talent.
No, I did not discover anything. I just, he's a good player.
Yeah.
Definitely watch his games, and then a good reason to watch him. It'll be coming up in a couple of weeks when Pachuca takes on America. So we'll definitely look out for that.
That'll be the match you love, regardless if John Kennedy wins or if America wins.
I don't hate. I don't hate. It's not in me. Okay, so looking at the standings for Liga MX. With the victory, and then Club America jumps to number 1 in the leaderboards, not because of the victory, but because Leon lost, right?
This is actually their second loss in a row, which is kind of scary for them. But yeah, they're.
Thank you for pointing that out. No, that is so they, because of these results, they drop down to the number 2 spot, followed by Tigres and Toluca in 3 and 4th. And then running off the top 6 will be Cruz Azul and Necaxa. So yeah, again, heating up in Liga MX. All these teams fighting still for spots in the playoff, and then once the playoff starts, anything can happen, right? Yeah. So we're going to continue to monitor that action. And then looking into next week, some of the highlight matches: Toluca hosting Pachuca. So I think that'll make for an exciting match. The league leaders Club America will take on Tigres.
Exciting match right
Another
there.
exciting match. Two teams at the top of the leaderboards. Another match that'll see two big rivals, two historic teams, and then teams that are currently sitting close to each other in the leaderboards. Guadalajara versus Toluca. So Chivas against La Máquina will make definitely for a great, exciting match. And then the two felinos, León versus Pumas on Sunday.
Yeah.
That'll also be a great match that we want to look forward to. See if León can continue to, or I should say, go back to on track into winning ways. And then, or can Pumas, upset them and make them give them a third loss in a row.
I hope we keep this losing form. Leon. We need points, man.
Okay, so moving on into another one of the leagues that really just kind of matters to us here. We are Southern California boys, born and raised. So Liga or MLS is our home league technically, right? And me and Andrew have been following it since it began, right? And as we grow up, the league continues to grow, continues to get more hype and bring better players every year. So we are pretty lucky, pretty lucky to have to be in a country where they just take organizations serious, and the infrastructure is here for this league to just continue to grow. The marketing is definitely here, right?
Yeah.
So top talent continues to come, and we hope to be there as it grows and just go along for that ride. So currently in MLS, it's on match week 4 with 4 matches. Everybody plays 4 matches. There's two conferences here in America and the MLS. You got the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. Again, we are from Southern California, so the teams that we are around, right, are LA Galaxy, LAFC, and then the new team to the league, San Diego FC. So currently, Andrew, the only team that's sitting higher in the tables out here from these teams is San Diego FC, the new team, surprisingly. Chucky Lozano's team. They're sitting in the number 2 spot in the Western Conference. They did have a game today. They tied 1-1. No action from Chucky Lozano against the Columbus Crew.
I guess that's because of his injury. I think that we heard a couple weeks. I think it was the second match day for San Diego's when he got injured. So I don't know how long. I didn't hear any news of how long he'd be out or whatever. I'm guessing that it's because of his injury. But regardless, to stay on track with San Diego in general, they are actually the only 2. There's only 4. The top 4 teams in the Western Conference are actually undefeated, and we're lucky enough to have one of those teams. San Diego are the only 4 teams in the Western Conference who are undefeated with two wins and 2 ties. We can't really say the same thing about LA Galaxy and LAFC. I think both LA teams have been really, really disappointing. I think especially LA Galaxy, they just come off winning the MLS Cup or whatever the league.
Oh yeah.
They went in and they won it, and now this is actually their first game that they don't lose with a tie.
Correct.
Again, kind of disappointing to for them to be champions, to be one of, I guess, the worst teams, not just in the East Western, but I think in the league in general. And as well as LAFC, I think they have been having a pretty bad week. I think this whole LA just teams in general, they're having a very bad start. But I think LAFC especially, I think they had 3 games in the span of like 2 weeks, and we lost to, I think it was Austin 1-0, and then I think we lost to Seattle like 4-2. So yeah, it's just disappointing, especially with the talent that LAFC has. We had signed an ex, or not ex, but a player that was playing in Europe, I believe in the French league, Senjin Uder. I think he played in also Leicester City as well, so he has experience in the Premier League. But yeah, I think in general the LA teams have just been very disappointing.
Absolutely. I mean, LAFC for 2 wins, 2 losses, right? So they're gaining points, but losing to like Austin FC, right, who's in one of the best teams. Definitely disappointing. But I'm more so disappointed by LA Galaxy. As you mentioned, the current defending champions, but currently having won a game, and then the one game that they do tie is to Portland, who is also one of the lower teams in the Western Conference. Not good for them.
I mean, when you have players like Marco Royce, and you expect this team to have better quality, especially coming off of like such a win from an MLS. I mean, it's just disappointing from an LA Galaxy standpoint of view. I think it's also because they don't have their main star player, Ricky Puig, who's been one of their best players, even in that title run they had. Very, very important player, important piece to that team. So maybe that's the missing piece to the team. But regardless, though, I think them just not being and having that form, the winner mentality, I guess, it hasn't really gone with luck. Hopefully things, again, it's pretty early in the MLS. It's only 4 match days in. But yeah, I mean, regardless, you expect LA Galaxy to be a top team. LAFC, for the way they spend their money on players and the quality they have in their players, you expect them to be even higher. And San Diego are proving everybody wrong. Like I don't know if they had any expectations on them, but I don't think any people think that they would be top 2 in the first couple weeks of MLS. But again, as always, it is pretty early, so things can change. Maybe San Diego can go lower, or you go even higher. But yeah, I mean, what do you think about the MLS teams?
Yeah, no, first of all, again, lucky to have so many teams in our area that we can cover closely, right? I am disappointed by LA Galaxy. Like I said, they're defending champions, and they should be or we expect them to be fighting higher up in the table and being one of the best teams, right, coming off of their championship. Marco Royce is a huge player, not just for LA Galaxy but in the MLS as is, right? He's still, you expect him to still be at a high level because he didn't come at so close to the end of his career. So you expect a good amount from him, I think. But that's just the MLS. It's starting, it's just starting, just a month in. Kicking off in early in the month of March. So we're still a lot of football to be played, and we will definitely bring you that action, right? As those teams continue to shift and they jockey for position. Please let us know, what MLS teams you really want to hear about, right? Is it LAFC? Is it the LA Galaxy, the oldest team here in Los Angeles, or the brand new team in San Diego with Chucky Lozano? Obviously, we're excited, to have Chucky Lozano so close to us. So please let us know, or let us know if you want us to cover that stuff live, and we make a trip out to wherever. Carson, where the LA Galaxy plays, or downtown LA, or down in San Diego. Please let us know. Comment. Andrew will also put the social medias on this page for you guys to interact with us. And then just to round off the coverage of the MLS, another one of the important teams that I think everybody wants to hear about is Lionel Messi's team, Inter Miami. Just a stacked team with a lot of world-class talent, Luis Suarez, Jordi Alba, Sergio Busquets, and of course, arguably the best player in the history of the game, Lionel Messi. They played Atlanta United this weekend, and they took a victory today versus that Atlanta team in Atlanta. Important win for them. With that win, they climbed to the number 1 team in the Eastern Conference. Lionel Messi scoring a very nice goal. He looked a little bit like the younger Messi, I should say, the Messi from the past. Taking advantage of an error from the defense and then juking 1 or 2 players and chipping it over the goalkeeper. Just a nice goal from the legendary Argentino.
Yeah, I mean, you expect this team to keep winning. I did have a question for you. I do believe that this is maybe the last season that Messi is in the MLS. So since this is his last, do you think he can finally win the MLS? I don't know if it's the cup or if it's the MLS, the league in general. They have won their conference of the other side. They've already won that last season. But do you think this can be it? This can finally be, because they also did have new additions to the team. They actually got the Atlas player from Liga MX, Ustari. They also got another Argentinian defender from Boca. I forgot his name, but they did have a pretty surprising transfer window and getting more players, getting more talent. So, do you think this is the final step for them to actually win their first MLS Cup?
Yeah, I think they can. I think they can.
Yeah,
I think they can. Man, I personally think that they're letting Messi have his way out here.
Yeah.
They're just the refs are giving him calls and the organizers are giving him every type of advantage that they can give him to have him where he needs to be. That's why they're in concacaf Champions tournament in the first place. I think they can win the MLS Cup. Because then at the end, then also you have Messi on that field, and he is some unstoppable sometimes. So with all that, I think they can make a run, and once they make a run, like I said, anything can happen. We'll see. You're right. I think he's gonna stick around. Okay. Past his contract, because he's I see he's being treated very well out here. So that's just kind of what I see. But yeah, only time will tell. Only time will tell.
I just feel bad.
Run they make.
Yeah, I know. I just feel bad for the rest of the other players, like Luis Suarez and Jordi Alba and Busquets, because I feel like they have more expectations. I mean, obviously with Messi, you already know what you're gonna get but from the other players, I feel like they should do more. And every time I see Luis Suarez play and him talk about his how he has to always do like needles to his knees because he has a pretty bad knees from just playing in general. It just sucks because the way he runs in general, it looks like he just is in pain. So it just sucks because they have to probably do as much to help Messi win. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. Like you said, we'll see how the run is in general, and yeah, hopefully they can be champions.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we want a competitive MLS in general. So it would be important for Inter Miami to be there and. Have teams compete against them and make the best team win. Mm-hmm. Elsewhere in the North American, I guess market, there's another tournament called the concacaf Champions that takes the best teams from North America. Like USA, Canada, Mexico, and then the Caribbean teams. It takes all the best teams on qualification, right? Whoever ends up in the top of their brackets, and then puts them into a competition where they all play against each other. Mm-hmm. It gets very exciting, right? They're currently also in the round of 16, similar to the UEFA Champions League. And then just run off some of the scores on the teams that are currently there. Mexico City team Cruz Azul playing against Seattle Sounders. With Cruz Azul taking the victory over the Seattle Sounders 4-1, and so the Cruz Azul will go on to the next round. Columbus Crew beating LAFC, one of the games that Andrew was highlighting. Mm-hmm. Another tough loss for LAFC, so they go. They're eliminated actually from the CONCACAF Champions by this Columbus Crew side. Another team from Mexico in Tigres taking on another team from the MLS in Cincinnati with Tigres going 4-2 on aggregate. They'll be going down to the round to the quarterfinal round. Another MLS versus Liga MX duel, Monterrey versus Vancouver, with Vancouver eliminating Los Rayados. Just another stacked team.
Yeah, very
getting eliminated.
Yeah, I think they're like the richest team in the whole America. So that's very, very upsetting.
LA Galaxy, surprisingly, LA Galaxy are able to go on and get a victory in CONCACAF Champions against Herediano from Honduras.
I believe so. Yeah, I think so.
Herediano losing 4-1 on the night, and then 4-2 on aggregate. So LA Galaxy going through, and then a Super Clásico in the CONCACAF Champions, Club America versus Guadalajara, with a 4-0 victory from Club America on the night, on Wednesday night, eliminating eliminating Chivas, and just an embarrassment, really embarrassing night for Chivas, who they thought they were gonna go through after just a 1-0 win.
Yeah, at home, right?
At home, I don't know. I guess they haven't watched some Liga games recently because they
did not do the research.
Yeah, they didn't do their research, dude. Because if you think you're gonna be, that's it with a 1-0 victory and
then having to play them at their home, it just seems impossible.
A great matchup between Inter Miami and Cavalier of Jamaica. Cavalier being eliminated, not able to score a goal against Inter Miami, but just a party in Kingston when Messi came, man. I was very happy for the Jamaican people to just be able to host Leo Messi, the biggest star in world football in your small little, national stadium, your humble stadium, but just taking advantage of him being there, and then that's what the game's all about, man.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what the game's freaking really all about.
Yeah, I think if you were a Jamaican going into that game, you were there to see Messi, and I've seen so many videos online of them just recording and being so happy to see Messi come on because he didn't start the match; he actually came in as a sub. So all of them were acting crazy, and it just seems it's so sick to have a player like Messi be in Kingston, Jamaica, and make his debut in Jamaica,
he scored,
and he scored as well,
so
which is like awesome. Icing on the cake. So
Jamal, come on!
I know they're all saying "bombo clat" when they came in the fucking field.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
And then just to round off the scores in the round of 16 there, Alajuelense against Pumas with the Universitarios taking the 3-1 aggregate win and going through to the next round. So the quarterfinals are lined up as follows: Clásico de la Capital, Club América versus Cruz Azul, two teams from Mexico City going head to head in the round of the quarterfinal round, and then LA Galaxy hosting Tigres in the first round of the quarterfinal, in the first leg on April 1st. Vancouver will host Pumas, and then another MLS duel in LAFC versus Inter Miami. So it looks like Messi's coming to Southern California for a.
I am tempted, man.
You didn't even think about it that way, huh? You didn't think about it that way. Yeah, he's coming for a official tournament. So exciting
Just
times.
like the Jamaicans, man. I'm really fucking excited.
Yeah,
if I get a chance to go to that game, man.
Okay, so that'll round off kind of like the North America coverage of this weekend. We'll really quickly move on to two countries that we want to definitely cover on this channel. There's really a lot of football to cover in South America, but we'll quickly jump into the one of the championships in Brazil. I'm talking about the Campeonato Paulista, the tournament in the state of Sao Paulo. Again, Brazil, just a massive football nation. They go there. They love the sport. Arguably, the biggest football nation in the world is the country of Brazil. And just like we were talking about in the European show of a lot of teams being in London, there's a massive amount of teams in the country of Brazil. So much so that they have to split into state tournaments. There is one large tournament called the Brasileirão. That hasn't started yet, but we'll definitely get into that as those, that tournament starts. A lot of great teams in that tournament. Again, we want to highlight Brazil just because of the love for that country has for the game, the amount of players that come out of that country to play all over the world. There's many in Liga MX, many in MLS, and just all over the world, really. There's not, one league that you'll find that doesn't have a Brazilian player in it.
Yeah.
And not only that, but these clubs, Andrew, the clubs in the biggest clubs in Brazil, biggest clubs in Argentina, when they play against the biggest clubs in Spain or the biggest clubs in England, it's really a head-to-head matchup.
Yeah.
Where the levels are right there. So we really don't want to we want to bring that out to everybody and emphasize that so that they don't sleep on the quality of the game in South America.
Yeah.
But just jumping back into the Campeonato Paulista over in Sao Paulo. It's currently in the final stage. Today, Palmeiras hosted Corinthians. Corinthians able to take the 1-0 victory over Palmeiras with a goal from Yuri Alberto. Again, this is the first leg of the match.
And the second leg will be placed on Thursday, March 27th, actually being hosted by Corinthians, so they'll be playing at home, so they have the advantage there. I think this game, Palmeiras had a lot of chances. They had, I believe they had 22 shots, while Corinthians only had 3.
Oh, man.
So it looked like they took their chances very well, Corinthians, and it looks very frustrating to be a Palmeiras supporter right now. It's only 1-0, so it's not too much of a stretch. But, playing at Corinthians' home and, again, having 22 shots, not be able to convert any of them, it's going to be tough. I did remember, though, Victor Roque actually plays for this Palmeiras team. So, hopefully this is a match that can prove why he should be European quality, or at least, not be in Brazil. I do believe he has that quality to become a European footballer. It'd be a very, very interesting match between Corinthians and Palmeiras playing at home. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I know the Corinthians fans, the torcida over there is going to be just crazy. They're going to be looking forward to seeing their side crown champions of the Paulista tournament. Another edition, and then the Arena Corinthians, just a beautiful stadium. It gets very loud, and it's definitely going to make for an exciting match. And then just to highlight one of the players for Corinthians, the Memphis Depay, that you everybody might have heard of, the player from Holland, the Dutch player, Ajax, ex Barcelona, Manchester United, just another global trotter, I guess. He plays for many teams.
Actually, he actually played for PSV.
And PSV.
Ajax.
Thank you. And then just to round off another league that we will definitely be getting into in the next coming months, and throughout the seasons, is the Liga Profesional de Argentina, another one of the great leagues. Many great teams. It's also set up in 2 groups. There's like 30 teams in the Liga in Argentina, and just a lot of action there to bring that we're definitely going to bring to you guys. Some of the teams to highlight: Boca Juniors, Estudiantes La Plata, River Plate, Independiente. A lot of historic teams, and a lot of action that we're going to have to bring to you, and just do our research, bring you the best games, let you know about the best teams, and the matches to bring to look forward to. I think that's going to conclude this week's the Americas tournament. Again, we really appreciate your support. We want to ask you guys to like, share, comment, subscribe, and just give us any feedback, any way that we can improve. This channel is fairly new, but we're always looking to grow, and then just excited to continue to grow. So, Andrew, any final words?
No, I just hope to be more knowledgeable about the Brazilian and the Argentinian football. Obviously, I do know teams, but I'm not too familiar with the quality and just anything. But I hope this helps me learn more and yeah, hopefully I'm a football fan, so I like to probably have one team that I like from each country of the football. So obviously I know teams like in Argentina with Boca and River, and in Brazil with Corinthians, Santos. So, but I hope I get to find my own team that I kind of like. Okay, I like this team. So,
yeah, no, you will, man, because once you really get to watch like the rivalries or all the teams from the different regions in Argentina and Brazil, and then also like the history when they start playing in Libertadores, that also adds to to the flavor really of the matches, right? The Copa Libertadores is a tournament just like the Champions League, but the South America edition, where they take the best teams ranked in the countries in South America and they put them all in one competition, and then just see who the best team is in South America. So again, these competitions, they just get very exciting, and you want to watch from beginning to end. So again, this is going to conclude the first edition of the Americas show. We want to thank you again for listening in and taking your time to just let us get in your ear. Have a great night, everybody.
See ya.